Alrighty, fourth graders, we're getting started with our math. Let's write our name and date. Today is 5/27. Alrighty. So we need to find the quotient with the remainder. So that means that we're dividing and there's going to be a remainder. Now remember, you can use your multiplication chart to help you divide. And we are just going to do the first 6 problems. Alrighty, let's get started. So we're going to start with 30 divided by 4. We need to ask ourselves, can 4 go into 3? The answer is no. So we ask ourselves, can 4 go into 30? We go down to 4. We go over and we try to find the number closest to 30. That is not more than 30. 28 is less than 30. So we know that 4 times 7, we're at 7 up top, because 4 times 7 equals 28. That means if we tried to divide 30 into 4 equal groups, we would have 7 in each group, which would only take up 28 of whatever we were dividing. So now we need to subtract to get our remainder. So I want you to subtract 30 minus 28. If you said that's 2, you're right. So we have 7 with a remainder of 2. Very good. Let's try the next one. We have 41 divided by 8. So we ask ourselves, can 8 go into 4? We look at our multiplication chart. The answer is no. So we ask ourselves, how many times does 8 go into 41? So we go down to 8, we go across. We find the number 40, which is less than 41, and it's the closest number, so we're going to use it. So 8 times 5, we're going to write 5 at the top because 8 times 5 equals 40. We write 40 at the bottom and we subtract. That means if we had 41 pieces of candy and 8 students, each kid would get 5 pieces, which would equal 40 pieces. So we would have some left over. So now we subtract to see how much we would have left over or as a remainder. So go ahead and subtract 41 minus 40. If you said 1, you're right. So our answer is 5 with a remainder of 1. Great work. Let's try the next problem. We have 71 divided by 3. So we're going to ask ourselves, can 3 go into 7? We go down to 3 on our multiplication chart. We've got 3 and we've got 6. 6 is close to 7, but less than, so we're going to use that. We know that 3 times 2, so we're going to write our 2 because 3 times 2 equals 6. Now we subtract, so we have 7 minus 6. Go ahead and figure that out. If you said that's 1, you're right. We bring down this 1 that's in the ones column because we did not use it. Over here we used it. We haven't addressed that. So we need to figure out if 3 can go into 11. So we go to 3, we go over. We have 9 or 12. Well, it can't be greater, so we're going to use 9. So we know that 3 times 3, so we write 3 at the top because 3 times 3 equals 9. Now we subtract to see what's left over. So you have 11 minus 9. If you said that's 2, you're right. So we have a remainder of 2. So our answer is 23 with a remainder of 2. Let's try the next row. Okay, So we have 29 divided by 6. We're going to go down to 6 and see if 6 can go into 2. The answer is no. The first number is 6. So we're going to see how many times 6 goes into 29. Go across, we find 24. 24 is less, so we can use it. We find that 6 times 4. So we write 4 at the top because we know 6 times 4 equals 24. So that means if we had, say, candies again, if we had 29 candies and 6 students, each student would get 4 candies, but there's going to be some left over. So we need to subtract to find the leftover or the remainder. So you're going to subtract 29 minus 24 because that's how many we used, because we had 6 students and they each got 4 candies. So we had 6 times 4, which was 24, and we subtract to find the leftover or remainder. So go ahead and do that. 29 minus 24. If you said that's 5, you're right. So our answer is 4 with the remainder of 5. That means we had 5 candies left over. Let's try the next problem. 68 divided by 8. So first we're going to see if 8 goes into 6. Nope, 8 is larger, so we're going to see how many times 8 goes into 68. So we go across our multiplication chart, find a number as close to 68 as possible without going over. We found 64. We go straight up to figure out what number we multiply times 8. It's 8. So we write 8 at the top because 8 times 8 equals 64 according to our multiplication chart. Now we need to subtract to figure out how much we have left over. Go ahead and do that. 68 minus 64. If you said that's 4, you're right. So our answer or quotient is 8 with a remainder of 4. Let's try the last one for this page. We have 87 divided by 8. So we're going to ask ourselves, can 8 go into 8? The answer is yes, because 8 times 1 is 8. So we write down 8 because 8 times 1 is 8. We subtract 8 minus 8. Which is 0. We bring down our 7 because it was not used. And we ask ourselves, can 8 go into 7? The answer is no, because 8 is bigger than 7. So we're going to write a 0 because it goes in there 0 times. And we have R for remainder, and we've got 7 left over. Very good. That's the end of math for today. Thank you for checking in. I'm really proud of you for getting your work done. Please remember that if you borrowed a computer from school, it does need to be returned starting this week. So make sure you bring it back to the school either this week or the beginning of next week, because those do need to be turned back in. And that is the end of math for today. Have a great day, and I hope you check back in tomorrow.